How's it going, everybody, and all the One Piece fans out there? Ace Shinigami here to make my second, third, whatever video I've done so far on One Piece. Now, this time we're continuing on the chapter 1115, Continental Fragments. Pretty self-explanatory. VegaPunk continuing his message. I'm going to kind of go over in quick succession what happens in the chapter, and then maybe a little bit of theories what might be happening. I know a lot of One Piece YouTubers, though, have definitely already basically gotten what Oda has said in like other parts of the story, been able to piece it together. And when we're hearing what VegaPunk's saying, a lot of people are just like, I thought so, but now it's just confirmed. You know what I mean? So we'll explain more about that in a little bit. But first and foremost, we start off with the Flower Capital, and beautifully, you got the Jolly Roger there of the Straw Hats, and we got whatchamacallit, either Kinemon or Momonosuke is here saying, it's hard to believe this foreign transmission is reaching us. We found the snail in the castle among Orochi's possessions. As they're talking, my bad, VegaPunk continues his message. Now, you may be wondering how he became known as a pirate. We got a little bit of Momonosuke again still questioning, oh, a pirate, just like Luffy, huh? Funny enough, Kinemon actually says something along the lines of, you know of him, my lord? Something that I feel like is important as well is that Momonosuke did hear a lot of stories from Odin, and he's probably holding a lot of extra knowledge. Again, he had definitely conversed with Zunisha after the fight with after the fight of Onigashima. So all the stuff that he, is probably trying to connect. He's got Zunisha talking about Joy Boy. You have his father probably talking about these tall tales and Sun God Nika and other things like that. So I feel like we're definitely going to see Momonosuke more later on. Continuing on from there, we got G4 Naval Base. Damalo Black is actually cosplaying as the Kid Pirates. Unfortunate as it may be, but these people are not really taking the threat that seriously. You got one of them saying, Joy Boy, who cares? I bet you could easily beat him up, right, Captain Kid? And then you got Damano Black basically, duh, the man's already dead. And then you have one of his other friends basically saying, that's our captain. The only thing bigger than his confidence is his belly. No, I think he's got a shrimp dick. Anyways, yeah, I'm clearly a million times tougher than this Joy Toy. It's Joy Boy, boss. No, not that kind of, no. Oh my god. And then we have another cutaway from some other Marines just looking distraught. VegaPunk continuing his message. Do bear in mind I only have access to a handful of poneglyphs, but their combined narrative clearly chronicles an unbelievable history about a great war in the distant past. During that period, Joy Boy faced an enemy of the organization now known as the World Government. You got some of the Marines here looking a little bit in disbelief. Isn't that us? Well, he did say he was a pirate. And from there, we see... Ooh, Mars is pissed. Warcury is fucking pissed. Denden Mushi fucking passing out. And again, Warcury is just yelling, VegaPunk! VegaPunk's message continues anyways, though. Back then, they were merely the Allied Powers, a temporary coalition consisting of 20 separate kingdoms. It can be assumed that an alliance was the only feasible way to oppose the formidable faction to which Joy Boy belonged. And we get a nice little silhouette of Joy Boy. Now, not too much detail, but the fact that you even get a little bit of a glimpse of what he looked like, I'm afraid that the cause of this conflict still eludes me, so I do not presume to judge the morality of the combatants. I can, however, say that this war was a clash of two opposing ideologies. I mentioned earlier that Joy Boy was born into a fantastical civilization. And then we get to cut away to Zoe, where they... we got Carrot. I already forgot some of the fucking names, I'm not gonna lie, but we got them over here basically talking about what is going on. Them basically just saying it's amazing. One so advanced that it's hard to believe it existed over 900 years ago. The weapon that existed during the century-long struggle are far beyond our modern science. And then we get a cutaway to the Foxy Pirates, which have not actually canonically been seen for almost 600 chapters. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we finally get to see them again. You got the famous what's that peanut-headed fool saying? And you got the chick going, "Aw, boss, you're making me hungry." Of course, and then you got the Gorilla Man just being like, "He's so big-headed." Boop, 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 boop. And again, VegaPunk continuing on, "Such technology is baffling even to a genius such as myself. And therein lies our problem." And then we get another picture of the labo. It has definitely been fucking torn to high hell. Inside, we see Stussy and Kaku. Kaku doesn't look to be the most enthusiastic about what's going on. And it's kind of a similar situation what we saw with Kizaru, where he's not necessarily beaten so bad that he's incapacitated, but his morality, I would say, is probably just shattered in the way it's all going about. Because, for one, Kaku just wanted a nice life. He definitely enjoyed his time with Galley Law, and after that turning sour and he had to continue his espionage lifestyle, he's not necessarily been the same. And again, we continue on. Stussy is basically just telling Edison, you know, "I'll stay here, you know, the fact that VegaPunk Stella is gone now, I don't feel like there's really anything for me." And she thinks the only thing that she could do is, you know, lower the barrier and allow for the Straw Hats to escape. Obviously, Edison is against that. He's like, "No, you are very much a person. You have thoughts and feelings. Live as VegaPunk would want you to, and go help out the Straw Hats." Obviously, this is her way of helping out the Straw Hats. Continuing on, though, we got oh god, I'm fucking missing all the names. Jupiter. Oh, he's obviously pissed, so he's just gonna be going straight with you. There ain't no point in the barrier no more. Oh, sorry, that's Edison. Not when there's these monsters on the island that can ignore it. So just talking about the fact that the Gorosei, the barrier doesn't do shit for them. So that's why he's even saying, please go to the Straw Hats. At least that way, you know, they have an extra hand. But with the fact that the Gorosei just invalidate all the protections that VegaPunk had, yeah. We got a little bit of a cutaway. Obviously, Zoro getting carried by Jinbei. Otherwise, we'd be in here for another 10 chapters having Zoro try and find his way to the ship. Continuing on, you got Nami yelling at them, "Now hurry up, they're moving their ships to blockade the northeast coast." Also, they're starting to swarm around the Elbaf pirate ship. Yeah. And again, Stussy is just very much, "That's good to hear. I was worried Stella would never forgive me if I let them get caught." Edison is just very much against it, like I said. Continuing on from VegaPunk's message, "But I don't know what to do with myself." Yeah, that's the only part we get from that. Sorry. "Now that Stella's gone, who am I left to live for? I have no purpose." And then you just got a very solemn look from Kaku right there, debating his, you know, position. And from the last time, you had Bonnie turn into a giant, basically helping fight against my god, my fucking brain, I always forget his name. Anyways, Venus Juro over here doing something crazy. He basically coats his sword into hockey, or he coats his sword with black hockey, of course, and then continues to fucking slice the bottom of the labosphere. And you'll see right now in a little bit, a whole fuck ton wrong could happen. Obviously, Bonnie being at risk. Luckily, she's able to detransition back into a child form so she doesn't get attacked. You have the giants also just trying to make their way and not fucking die. Luckily, we also get another little bit here. Continuing on from VegaPunk's message. Yeah, he didn't say anything there. The Void Century ended with Joy Boy's defeat, and you get two very prominent pictures of the giant, the Iron Giant, and Zunisha. Two people that we definitely know had some sort of connection with Joy Boy. And continuing on, obviously, like I said, Venus Juro, he is fucking pissed. How much do you intend to say, VegaPunk? And what the next fucking move he does, oof, he is pissed. there's no way this there are over here fucking having an aneurysm. Sorry, there are too many life forms up here. He literally just goes, oh, slice, cuts that shit in half, and then you also got a bunch of the world government officials just falling through, and you got the Stellas. Sorry, yeah, no. My God, I'm already forgetting the shit. The Seraphim falling through as well, and then that allows them to be able to get out of the little bubbles they were in. Continuing on, though, you got, but the aftermath had grander consequences. The wake of the ancient conflict scarred the world, and those scars never healed. Clearly implying, and the fact that these people are just at this point, nope, everything, get that shit out of here. We're stopping this at any fucking cost. Even putting their own, men at fucking risk, goes to show you that the more that VegaPunk continues this message, yeah, these people are, well, for one, the Godos are even more unruly and just frantic in whoever and whatever they're trying to slice up, because they're just trying to fucking cut the broadcast and they can't find it. Continuing on, like I said, but it wasn't like that 1,000 years ago. A catalytic ecological disaster occurred during the Void Century. That is a common knowledge to us now. We all know. Damn, I keep reading this shit backwards. My bad. We all know travel between islands can be excruciatingly difficult. The seas. There we go. One must traverse are so vast and perilous. Most people are content with their lives and die in their place of birth. That is common knowledge to us, like I said, but it wasn't like that 1,000 years ago. A catalytic ecological disaster occurred during the Void Century. The ancient world was swallowed by the ocean. We are now living atop of its remnants, continental fragments of a land masses that once were. And again, we've seen bits and pieces of this because of Jinbei's cover story, right? One of the few times we actually got to explore on the ground of the fucking ocean floor. Other than that, the only time we've seen the bottom of the ocean has been with Fishman Island. And again, it was very far and few between there. Continuing on from his message, the world of a millennia ago sleeps unseen at the bottom of the ocean. Obviously, you got the revolutionaries here all gasping in surprise or whatever, but Dragon is still very much not as impressed. So how much does he know about this whole ordeal? And again, also we get a cutaway back to Zoro's hometown. So they're definitely trying to put as many callbacks as they can, and how many people actually are going to be affected by this information, As he says, I know it's hard to believe in my word alone, but they really were multiple vast continents back then. This change in the world helps explain how a century of history could be censored. A feat that seems nigh impossible, but it makes sense when you consider the undeniable conclusion all the data points to within a mere century, the average sea level rose a staggering 200 meters. And obviously, even some of the Marines are just like, what? You're kidding, 200? And again, it only rose, I believe it was 1 meter after La Lucia. Imagine what it fucking took to raise it 200 meters. Holy shit, that's a lot of land obviously gone. And when you look at the map, it adds up, right? Also, I forgot, you got Nochiko here in Nami's hometown, basically just reacting to the same situation. They're all just like, well, this is wild. She's over here like, I'm just going to go tend to the tangerines. She's not having any of it. Finally, we get some other little cutaways. Mocktown, they're still not in any, real belief that it's actually a thing. Again, more warships closing in on VegaPunk, Egghead Island, sorry. And finally, we get to see Dr. here with all the people from Chopper's hometown. Pretty nice to be able to see them again. She even says, even now, the world still finds a way to keep things interesting. And with the second to last cutaway, we have some of the last information he tells us. That begs the question, how and why did such a flood occur? Naturally, your first inclination might be to assume it was some kind of natural disaster. However, I can say certain that it was no such thing. It was a man-made calamity. If this catastrophe was brought about by natural means, there would be records denoting early warning signs several centuries earlier. It was a severe world-altering event, after all. But all my research into meteorology, geology, ecology, and atmospheric science confirmed that there was no such natural buildup. And finally, it's impossible for such a drastic change to happen spontaneously within the span of a mere 100 years, meaning the cause lies elsewhere. My suspicions were confirmed a few days ago when I analyzed the world's current sea levels. And finally, you got them again, Mars, Mercury, and I already forgot his fucking name. There you go. All pissed as fuck. Sorry, Saturn. Basically saying, sorry, they're just more so reacting. My bad. This will be hard to accept, but the disaster 800 years ago was caused by an ancient weapon technology capable of sinking the world, and that very same firepower evidently still exists, just waiting to be used again. In other words, the Great War which ravaged the world during the Void Century is still ongoing. And finally, you get a frightening look at Emu. Just he's pissed. He is pissed this is all happening. He's got the ... too, but those eyes tell me he's about to do some fucking insane. How insane would it be? Obviously it is, but if during this point Vegapunk obviously is about to finish whatever he's about to say, and it's just as the Straw Hats are being able to jump off the fucking island, and then you got Emu basically being like, alright, blow that shit up, blow up the whole island, right? Like, that would be something I feel like he would definitely do to try and, if the message is still going after the Straw Hats leave, he would definitely destroy Egghead Island. Just the amount of, even though they have some stuff they want on there, I think his fury and his emotions getting too enraged by just listening to the fact that, oh shit, the common people are gonna know we were the enemy. Fuck. You know, they would just be like, alright, fucking nuke the whole goddamn island just to level that thing. Well, in actuality, it would be, you know, sent back to the ocean. But they have the capability. We've seen it with Lelouchia. Yes, they might still want to try and use the fucking energy source that Vegapunk had, but the fact that it actually has this much build up, right? Every little time we get the next chapter, more and more gets said. You see just how much more pissed Gorosei get. They are not going to stand for this. They are not going to just lay back, and they're working together, but they're not working together, where they're not unified in how to stop the broadcast, right? And like, again, a lot of other One Piece YouTubers have already stated, right? The Mother Flame, either we get Luffy eating it last minute because, well, he's hungry, and then the same thing with the same fucking mythological story that it is derived from. The user does ingest the fire and becomes a little bit more powered up because he fucking ate the sun. You can only imagine that same kind of thing playing out with Sun God Nika, Joy Boy Luffy, where he's not able to necessarily master Gear 5 until he has the Mother Flame I guess ingested into him, right? All that being said, this is a beautiful fucking chapter. We get so many cutaways, so many people that again, the Foxy Pirates, Demon Black, all these other people that we haven't seen in quite a bit of chapters, and Oda is definitely delivering on every single bit of information we get. So let me know down in the comments below what's your favorite part. What do you think next Vegapunk will say? And with that being said, y'all have a good night, good evening, and good morning. Shinigami signing out. Bye.